What's the difference between IEPs and 504 plans?
Animated characters and scenes appear as a narrator describes.
Attention, students with disabilities. You have the right to the services and supports you need to achieve success at school. Here's how you, your parents, and your school can make that happen. There are two main ways that schools provide services to students with disabilities. Depending on what a student needs, the school will create either an individualized education program, called an IEP for short, or a 504 plan. IEPs and 504 plans are different, so schools have to evaluate the student and then meet with the student and their family to determine what's needed. The parent can also provide additional information or request an independent evaluation if they disagree with the school's evaluation. 504 plans provide accommodations that allow disabled students to access their education. An IEP includes accommodations too, but an IEP is also a plan for instruction and services that will help the student reach their goals, both inside and outside the classroom. First, let's talk about 504 plans. 504 plans are based on Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which prevents any entity that receives federal funding, like public schools, from discriminating against students with disabilities. A student has to be evaluated by the school to qualify for a 504 plan. A 504 plan is created by a team of people who are familiar with the needs of the student, like parents and teachers. Some examples of accommodations provided through a 504 plan could be more time on tests, scheduled breaks during the day, and front row seating. A 504 plan can also include services, like daily check-ins with a nurse for a student who needs to take medication at school. A student with a disability might also qualify for an IEP. What does that look like? Well, an IEP, or Individualized Education Program, is exactly what it sounds like. It's designed to meet the unique needs of each student. IEPs can include academic goals for the student, as well as goals that address other disability-related needs that impact the student at school, like behavior, social-emotional needs, or communication. In addition to special education services, an IEP may include related services. For example, a student might need occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, or assistive technology like screen reading software or specialized keyboards. For older students, an IEP must include a transition plan to help the student prepare for life after high school. Transition plans may include goals related to higher education, employment, and independent living. IEPs and 504 plans sound very similar, but there are big differences between them. It's important to know that they are different, and that parents, students, and schools have to work together to decide what the student qualifies for and what supports will set the student up for success. Sometimes there are disagreements about eligibility for an IEP or 504 plan, or the services or placement of the student. When this happens, parents and students have options. Every school district is required to have a 504 coordinator who you can contact if you think the school isn't providing the right supports in a 504 plan. When it comes to IEPs, options include filing a state complaint, requesting a due process hearing, or participating in a facilitated IEP meeting or mediation with the school to try to resolve the problem. With an IEP or 504 plan, a parent can also file a written complaint with the Federal Office for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Education if they believe they're being discriminated against because of their disability. Remember, there are procedures and timelines for all these options, so it's important to keep track of deadlines and requirements. IEPs and 504 plans ensure that students with disabilities receive an education that meets their needs.
For more information, contact Disability Law Center of Alaska at 800-478-1234 or dlcak.org.